Let's start with what a concussion is.
Okay.
A concussion is a transient or temporary disturbance of neurological function, usually associated with complete recovery. So a transient disturbance of neurological function can mean a ding where you see stars, you have a very brief blurred vision, ringing of your ears, headache, or it can be associated with loss of consciousness, briefly or for minutes or longer. So when we're talking about concussion, only 10% of the concussions are associated with loss of consciousness. Most people used to think you had a concussion only when you were knocked out. Not so. 90% of concussions are the transient disturbance of vision, a little forgetfulness, memory impairment, reaction time is diminished. So what's happened is we've become extremely more aware of these seemingly minor disturbances that we're learning are not necessarily always minor. In other words, if you go back to play before the symptoms have completely cleared, you're much more likely to have another concussion with less force, less impact, and a more prolonged episode of recovery. So what the NFL, what high schools, what colleges are focusing on now, number one, identifying the concussion when it's occurred, which in the past, quite frankly, has been overlooked. And then number two, not returning these individuals before the brain has a complete opportunity to recover. So, to that end, what I have developed, along with Mark Lovell, my associate, who's a neuropsychologist here in Pittsburgh as well, we developed the IMPACT system. IMPACT means immediate post-athletic concussion testing. And it's a 20-minute neurocognitive test. You take it a PC. Athletes can take it in a computer lab. We can download and test 100 patients in 30 minutes if they have a computer. And in 20 to 30 minutes, we can get a baseline in terms of their ability to process information, their memory, their reaction time to 1/100th of a second, and their visual and verbal ability to handle constructs. So with that baseline, we then, when an athlete has a transient disturbance of neurological function, retest them and compare against the baseline. And the NFL now has mandated 3 things before you return to play. Number one, you must be completely asymptomatic. In other words, no headache, nausea, vomiting, fatigability, sleepiness, drowsiness. At rest. You must also be completely asymptomatic after aerobic activity with exercise, a gradually progressive exercise regimen. Then number 3, you have to return to your baseline testing with impact. If those 3 criteria are met, you can return to play.